Hi, Guido Fox here. Welkom bij een nieuw book report. Today it is book report 250. Wow, amazing guys. 250 books. It's time to celebrate it, right? It's amazing, amazing material, amazing intellectual capacity here to read 250 books in my life. I mean, I did more with my economic study and law study, but really in the life coaching, in the life wisdoms, I think it is very special that a life coach actually read 250 books. So that's what I want to say to you, 250 books. And this book is about the excellent boss. Becoming an excellent boss, becoming an excellent leader of your organization, of your company. So it's about leadership skills to become the best boss in the world. So it's like 200 pages from Richard Koch, and it's about leadership skills and about becoming an excellent boss. And about becoming a new boss. So it's specialized in the leadership skills when you come in a new company, how to behave, how to deal with the new company, how to deal with the new people because you're becoming there the new boss. That's one part. It is also about the general leadership skills. So it's specialized in becoming a new boss in a new company, but it's also about general leadership boss skills. First of all, on page 8 is mentioned that if you are a boss and you become new in a company and there are other people in the company that also wanted to become the new boss, there will be some frictions, right? The new guys there, the old guys there in the company can become a little bit jealous on your position as a boss because they had expectations. They were already longer in the company, in the organization, and they will think, hi, I am bypassed here. I was the following up guy, and there comes a new guy, probably a much more talented guy from outside areas, and he's taking over the company. So, what we're going to do is putting him down, have a lot of critical eyes on this boss, and try to finger point issues to drag him down because I am so jealous because they're coming a new guy here and he's taking over my job. It was my future job to become here a boss, right? So when you come in the company, jealousy can be involved, and it is good as a coach or as a boss to hire a coach, but also be aware of the jealousy mechanisms and be a little bit more distant at the beginning. Show your good results, showing intent, dedication, that you hired from outside, that you're new here, that you want to improve the company as a team. And later, I talk deeper about these issues about personal relationship management, your management skills, and how to build up personal relationships in the team, in the company, a company to avoid backstabbing, gossiping, to how to deal with difficult persons in the company to avoid that these jealous mechanisms will be evolving in the company because that is a disturbing factor and it can be an inefficiency problem for the company results, and the company results will be reflecting also on you personally and career-wise. So you want to avoid this jealousy patterns in your company because it is also reflecting your own career ladder as a boss. So that's not what you want to have. So that's one thing I want to finger point a little bit about the jealousy mechanisms. I talk later deeper about personal relationship, how you can avoid this mechanism. But first of all, stay in control, talk to people, become a little bit flat. Don't become too showing off there as a boss or to overcompensate. Let the time be the time, and to nest you a little bit in the company. So take also some time when the team or the company will adapt you as a new boss. Later, I talk deeper about this subject. Second thing, when you come as a boss in a new company, is that you have high expectations from the people who hired you. So you have a lot of people who are hiring you as a new boss, so you will come in the company as a kind of king. You're the king, you're gonna make the company better, you're giving us high results, so the first weeks you will be hiring as a kind of messiah. So there's some messiah Jesus complex here, and it is good as a new boss to downplay the expectation a little bit, be not too optimistic, and more ground earthed here. To not going in that emotional flow of the messiahs complex, and also not becoming insecure for, oh no, I have to prove how I am as a new boss and overcompensate myself and create their burnout or an energy lackage there to perform. So you want to also be here, ground earthed, take your time to nestle in the organization and downplay the optimistic atmosphere in the new company. Of course, enjoy. If people are happy with a new boss or new leadership, enjoy the moment too. And there's also a reason for a party if there comes new people in the company. So I'm not saying be pessimistic, but be realistic. Realistic here. So jealousy is one aspect when you come in a new company, and too high expectation, messiahs complex is the second thing. What can be happen if you're coming as a new boss in a company? So what you can do is think about it, about these two issues, reflect on it, be prepared for it. When you come in a new company, how should I deal with it, with this kind of mechanisms in the company? So that's a little bit leadership management, how to deal with. Preparation is, of course, very, very important for your new job. That brings me by the following subject about leadership coaching, boss management, and it's about page 29 of the book. And that is also the preparation of your plans and strategy in the new firm. So you come in a new firm, what you gonna do, what are your plans, what is your strategy, and he gives us advice here, Richard Koch, that make the time between your old job and your new job as long as possible. So go 2 months on holiday in between your job. Don't be afraid of the so-called gaps on your CV, your job history. Don't be afraid of that gaps. Use that gaps to become a better leader. Invest in coaching, invest in leadership coaching, invest in your skill set, reading books, invest in a new company, what's going on there, what kind of strategies I want to implement, what kind of plans I want to do, how I deal with my employees. So if you are a leader, you want to become a good leader, a wonderful leader, invest that gap period already to not only take rest in your holiday, but also mentally prepare yourself on your new job. The most people are so afraid. Oh no, now I have a gap on my job history list. And you're becoming so much afraid. And you're going from job to job immediately without any gaps. They don't take rest. They're staying in their same, they're making the same mistakes from job to job. They don't improve in between. So take your rest, calm down, reflect your old job, your old position, and move further to your new job. So that's a very good advice, I think, to use that gap. And that brings me also to the previous mentioned thing about jealousy and high expectation. Think already about these patterns, how I should deal if. That makes you an excellent boss. How to deal if you think already about the scenarios, what is going to happen in the company. Um, that is very important to become an excellent boss. Prepare yourself. Preparation is holy. Preparation is holy for your job skills, for your value to manage a company on a CEO level. Brings me to the old next topics about page 32 and 34. And that's a very good advice from Richard. And that is that you have to become, as a new leader, taking over at the beginning 50% of the leadership skills of your previous boss. So invest in that gap, how the leadership skills of the old boss was. Invest in his personality, learn from your old boss in the company, because then you'll become more adapted, recognized, respected by the new employees. If you come as a new boss and you have 100% different leadership skill set, I talk later about different leadership roles in this video, then the team will be hesitating to adapt your information and implement it, because they're used to have another kind of leadership. So the best is if you use the first months to adapt the leadership role of the old boss and slowly transfer to your own skill set, to your own leadership role. That's better for the company, that's more durable, that is better for the results on the long time, that's better for depleting the jealousy mechanisms, depleting the high expectations, so downplay that mechanisms in the company to become a better boss there, to become a better leader there. So implement a little bit the leadership skills from your old boss, and transfer that to your own skill set, your own style later on. So I think that is a very wise advice from Richard to really adapt the new leadership skill here. The next topic, we have a whole list today. The next topic is ask questions to employees. So mostly when bosses are coming in the company, they want to change this department, that department, removing away that department, firing that employees. But first talk to the employees one to one, not with a group, because then group pressure will be involved. The silent, wise people will shut their mouth mostly. The introvert guys, mostly the smartest guys on earth, they're maybe too shy to share their stories outwards. So one to one, say it's a confidential talk. You can talk freely to me. What's going on in the company? Tell me about it. What is the good things here? What's the bad things here? And if you talk with kind of 100, 200 people in the company, you will recognize patterns there. Positive patterns, destructive patterns, or people have the same opinion about the company. They can talk also about coaching and personal development and coaching on the job. What's going on there? Do I improve myself in this company, or I do the same things years on, years on? I have the feeling that I'm not motivated anymore in the company. So also their personal reasons, aspects of grow can be discussed in that one-to-one conversation. So it's a new boss. Talk with your new employees and bonding there internally bonding, internal relationships within the company. That's good for yourself. That's good for your authority level, but also good for becoming a better leader. Page 56. At a certain moment, you see, okay, you have constructive people in the company and you have destructive employees in your company. And what you want to reach is, of course, that the constructive people are staying by you. They make the company more profitable, better atmosphere. And with the deconstructive people, you give them one chance. So, okay, if you see deconstructive patterns, you go, okay, we put a coach on there, a coaching on a job, or we have other things we can do. We can replace the deconstructive people to other departments. And an example here in this book is that this guy is saying, okay, if there's a lazy guy, put him next to a very fanatic, high performer guy. Then this guy see a good example and maybe he's taking over this behavior. If the deconstructive guy is falling in jealousy and he becomes jealous on the high performer in the same room, then of course you have to put it on the transfer list. And he mentioned a lot of time that it is sometimes better to put a guy on the transfer list. So there's also a line with the career coaching, with the leadership coaching. Dump your 5% bad customers. Dump your 5% bad employees. Always year after year, say goodbye to your 5% bad customers, bad employees, to hold the quality of your firm good, and also have a healthy way out from people who can maybe perform better in other companies or can buy products by other companies. So there's some refreshing energy there. So put your 5% bad customers or bad employees to the door. That's very important. So you give them one chance to perform better. If the deconstructive people, the gossiping people, the bad performers in your company stay there, kick them out. Kick them out. That's the best. Kick them out. So you have to learn to say goodbye. You don't want to be a Mr. Nice Guy there as a boss. You have to make difficult decisions to kick people out. That's better for you, better for the company. And if it's better for the company, it's also better for the customers, right? You all do it for the customers. So if the company is giving you very good results, then the customers are also happy. And that's where you work for. You work for the customers. Customers are king. Customers are king. So that's always keep in mind. You work for the customers. So if there is deconstructive people in your company, kick them out. Kick them out. Page 95. Page 95. This guy is very smart. He gave good advice here is to go for co-leadership. Mostly his CEO is very alone. He locked himself up in his room when he's their king. But it's good to have some co-leadership there. It can be on the same salary level, the same position, but it can also be on a lower level. So a running mate. You have to find a running mate who is the opposite, or quietly the opposite of you. So he is combining the skill set. So if you then you become a total leadership. So everyone has weak points or with good points in a company. So if you are more interly orientated and you search something for the marketing or the external business relationships, then you'll find someone who likes to do sales, who likes to have sales conversations. So co-leadership is really the future. So choose someone next to you and do a two team, someone where you can talk and relate to, of course, because you don't want to have a fight in that co-leadership, but you want to really wants to have a team there too. So co-leadership is a very interesting mechanism to share the CEO leadership here in your big firm, and also maybe delegate something to each other and have a more relaxed life work balance there. I talked earlier about different leadership skills. You have the seer, that's the visionary boss. Maybe you recognize in some of these three leadership roles. You have the seer, that's the visionary guy in the company. You have the analyst leader. He's really from the facts and wants to know every count. Wants to have every balance sheet in ordering. So he is really from the books. And you have a leadership skill who is more the practical guy. And he say, okay, there's a problem. We go for a solution, and better tomorrow than the day after tomorrow. So you have three types of leadership skills where you can put someone in. Of course, you have mixed leadership skills, and the best is also that you become more quality dividing leader. So that's thrown down in blog 315 about leadership qualities. It's good to have some job coach here to make your quality more widening. So that you become an analyst and a visionary guy and a practical guy in one. Then you become a really good boss. So that's where we can talk about it. But so three leadership skills there are, and I talked earlier about what is the leadership skill of the old boss and how to implement this skill set in you to make the transfer much more smooth in your new company, to not have so much resistance in the company. So you can use these three methods and think about you, reflect on yourself, what kind of leadership role I take in, what kind of personality I am, and make the best out of it, right? So take also there more knowledge about yourself to perform better, and ultimate form also reflected on the customers and your net profit here. Page 188. Another good advice from Richard Koch is about the list of employees who you want to have in your core group. So there's the best employees of the company. You want to have a list, a future list, and people who are gonna away on a certain time. Also here the refreshing energy of the 5% rule. So you want to have a list. Okay, these are the talents for the future. These are the people I want to go further with. These are the talents. Make a pool, make a group. These are the leaders of the company. I want to have a weekly annual meeting with those guys or girls or women to share ideas and also from future leadership, right? You have to prepare as a leader, as a boss, also prepare for the future boss. Maybe you have an accident next morning and you're not anymore on Earth. A very pessimistic vision, of course, but you have to be aware, okay, tomorrow it can be over, or there can be a scandal here or a media scandal, and I have to leave my bags. I have to leave my company. So you have also be a preparation of a pool of 3 to 5 guys who can become the new boss in this company. So that's also make your company more on a higher quality level if you make this company future ready in the wide sense. So make a pool of excellent employees from young to old and have their meetings with to share on a high intellectual level the new ideas and the future goals of the company and the creative ideas there. So not only the personal one-to-one conversations with employees, but also this group settings will be much more favorable for the company. Page 116. Ask every employee, or nearly every employee, what can I do as a boss better? That's a very, very vulnerable question. Very vulnerable, because it can be a feeling of lack of authority or people scrambling on your authority level. But ask every employee, hey, what can I do better to perform better, to make the company more efficient? What should you give advice to me? You can freely talk to me. I adapt it in my own leadership skills or work on that skills. So ask the employees what I can do better as a leader. That will be very good for leaders to do. What is the critics there? And if you ask 500 people about the 3 points and they're constantly the same critics, then it will be pattern, right? It will be pattern of constructiveness towards you. What can I do better as a leader? That's also very good advice to adapt. Page 125, very short. Celebrate also big deals or good results of your company together. So always put the team forward, share it with your team, celebrate as a team, say, hey, this is because of the team did the good work. So always not partying alone. Well, I have the big boss, I'm here, I make net profit, pam, pam, pam. No, always share with your team, always party with your team if there is good results in the company. 135, that's another thing, is personal conversations with people. I talked about you earlier about efficiency, 3 rules, 3 advices from people. You can, hey, what are the 3 big advice you would give me as a leader? I also talked about earlier about personal conversations, to know each other, to trust each other, and also share the ideas, what's going to happen in the company. And page 135 is more about the concerns of the company, sensitive topics, and also creative business ideas. So the first meetings with people, if you come as a boss, is more about trust and knowing each other. And later the conversations can be deeper. You see each other more and more on the work floor, and then people can share more future creative ideas and also share more sensitive topics and concerns about the company. And you can do that also later, because there is some trust based ground there. So people not sharing in once all the bad things about the company, or they have critics in once, could be, but mostly not, because there's no trust based. The same as me and my clients, mostly you come more in depth relationships, if you talk more and more with them. So you have a trust-based, grounded, grounded issue to go further with your client. Page 172. That's a very good list. I think it's about the 10 mistakes a new boss or a boss can make. The first thing, and that's related to that the expectation level is very high as a new boss, because people hired you and they want to have successful results, so the pressure is on there, is that you become too optimistic as a boss. Be realistic. That's more important. Be not pessimistic, not optimistic, but realistic. We want to have this results, this profit margin. We want to grow like this. I think that's a realistic pattern. So be optimistic, but not too optimistic. That's the one mistake that new bosses are make. They make the expectations too high and too unrealistic that people don't believe in it. You lose their power, you lose their support, and ultimate wise, if you have too high expectation and the profit will be only grow with 5% or whatever, then there will always disappointment later on. So that's also not what you want to have. You don't want to have constantly disappointed later on because you set your expectations too high. So that's not what you want to do in the company. The second one is lack of attention in your personal relationships, internally and externally. We talked about it, right? The personal relationships internally, one-to-one talks with your employees, but also externally. You can have a running mate there. We talked about that, right? To have co-leadership, but also the relationships externally. So your talks with customers, your talks with business to business partners. So that kind of thing is very interesting to do and stay doing. So that's what a new boss hide themselves in his room and don't show them, only have strategy, and that's not what you want. You want to have also invest in your personal relationships. The third mistakes of the 10 is lack of fact checks. So every business decision of new things you want to discover in your company, always check out with the accountant, always check with the strategy guy, always check the facts. Okay, is it reasonable? Is it realistic? Can we do this thing? Can we make this difficult decision or not? So a lot of things going wrong with new bosses. They do something but don't know what is the cost of this project. Is it a realistic investment opportunity or not? So really go for fact checking here, double fact checking with the balancing sheets here. Right? It's very important to make also future business investments. Okay, what is the prognosis here? What's the future? What's the future expectations here? To really think about that. Fourth thing, what's going from fourth point from the list of 10 biggest mistakes as a boss is about not training yourself and your team with coaching on a job. So not investing in personal development for your employees. So if your employees, you're not invest in your employees, they not grow, they're not becoming efficient, they're becoming unmotivated. If you're not investing in your own leadership coaching skills, you will become flatty, you'll not grow anymore. Maybe you're going in a downward spiral as a leader. So you want to invest in yourself. So team coaching, leadership coaching are very necessary to grow as a company, the results, and reflect, of course, to happy customers here. 5, focus and dedication. That's very American vision, dedication. Focus on dedication. always striving in the company, always go on, hyper focus, 100% on. You don't want to make the relationship with the company for granted. Take it too easy. Stay striving. Put energy in the company. Put energy in yourself. Always focus and be dedicated. I find it a little bit an open door, but it is the top 10 of mistakes that new bosses are make after the 100 day of boss. They will become a little bit more lazy and less dedicated. I saw people in company. I worked 3-4 years in companies. I saw people very high energetic on the first month, and then they staying only in the coffee corner or in the smoking room, and their effectiveness were going down, and they become more unmotivated. So stay dedicated towards the company and towards the customers, right? 6, delegate what you can, delegate what you're not good in it, or it's better to delegate to specialized people. Yes, delegate to get out of too much pressure for yourself, to avoid burnouts. Delegate, I think, is a good thing, not to become over control. But one of the 10 mistakes new bosses are making is that they delegate too much. So you want to have also keep control about your work. Keep the eyes, because you are the boss. You are responsible. So you have to check regularly if things are going right there. You check if what you're supposed to implement also implemented. I talk later about implementation. But you have to check, you have to control. You're responsible for what's happening in the company. So not delegate too much, because people are seeing you as a lazy boss. If you're constantly delegate and only talk a little bit to people on the work floor, you get a sticker, you get an imprinted image of a lazy boss. You don't want to become a lazy boss in the company. So stay active there too and not delegate too much. The seventh biggest mistake as a new boss is to not make good analyze by difficult company decisions. So if you have big company decisions about your strategy, a new product line, how to sell it in the market, move away different departments of the company, big decisions, ask for reflective coaches, ask for analyst guys. So also here, put the facts right. Take your knowledgeable consultants around you to make grounded analysis about the difficult decisions in your company. So the seventh mistake is making decisions too easy without any fact-based analysis here. The eighth point is trust in bad guys. Yeah, you have to be very sensitive as a leader, as a boss, to know hiring the good guys and to say goodbye to the bad guys. But mostly it is in the company also trust the bad guys. Be aware that people are giving you advice maybe because of their own self-interest, their ego interest. So maybe people think, I need more money because I want to build up my department more and more. And mostly it's useless money, or this guy is not making a good decision. So be aware about the bad guys in the company. Be aware of that. And that's what a lot of times going wrong in companies, that you trust the wrong guys, trust the bad guys in the company. The egocentric guys. Point 9 of the list is bad IDs. Yeah, bad guys you have also bad IDs. So check the bad IDs. Just check the IDs if they're good or not. Also here analyze on it. So the most companies are going in a downfall because of bad investments, because of bad strategy, because of bad decision making. So always go here for consultants. Always check if it's okay. Always going here for the analyzing here, right? So bad ideas. Reflect your ideas and not always going by yourself as a boss. That's, I think, the wise point here. Point 10, the last one, is you have a good idea. The idea is great, you reflect on it, but the implementing issue is very bad. That's always the case I saw in companies. There are so many good ideas, there are creative ideas, and then, oh yeah, who's going to implement this? At which time period? And you come months and months later to each other and you say, hey, we had a great idea, right? We had a wonderful idea, we had a creative idea, but no one's checked if there is already implementation process, or the implementation process is going well, or we have to adapt the implementation process. And so you remember maybe on your low school, when you were young, you make wonderful plans on the table with your friends, and creative and future minded, and we change the world. And if it comes to the down-grounded earth, nothing happens because everyone goes home watching Netflix, watching TV, going play football outside, and you come later by each other and no one does something, right? All free rider behavior here, all free rider behavior. And so you want to have control as a boss about the implementation process, that really people are doing, and giving a body to this wonderful creative new future idea for your company. So also check there not to delegate too much, and if you delegate too much, control on your delegated process here. These were the 10 mistakes, the 10 mistakes of a new boss. Last thing, enjoy the process of being a boss. Enjoy the process of being a boss. Enjoy it fully. Enjoy the company. Enjoy your being. Otherwise, it is not your role. A lot of people are putting in the role of a boss. It's not fitting by you, or it's not fitting yet by you. And so, career coaching, purpose coaching, are you following your true self in life? Is this fitting by you, or it's not fitting by you? Are you a boss, or are you not a boss? Right? You can play a boss, but if you're not feeling a boss, if you're not made for it, then don't do it. Or the company is not fitting by you, go to another company, right? Your time here on earth is very valuable. And if you put your value to the front company, or you're not fitting in that role, pass it. Don't go for the money, don't go to the fame, don't go do this ego motives, go for yourself. That's much more important, because if you cannot be that optimistic, realistic boss, you cannot share it to your team, you cannot share your happiness to your team. If you're too stressful to do it, don't do it. Because you cannot transfer it to your team, and you cannot transfer it to your customers ultimately. And so you want to be a boss who is sitting on his or her place. You want to be that boss who really wants to be the boss, and who is also fitting there. Oh, that's, I think, a very good advice of Richard, is that you really have a purpose in life, and that this role as a boss is fitting in this purpose. You are fitting in this company, you're fitting in this purpose. That's much more important than that money claim here, right? So that's the last advice I can give to you about being an excellent boss. Thank you for watching this video and I see you by the next one. Bye bye.